Washington Township High School. It's a battle in the Olympic American Conference boys style as the Washington Township Minutemen play host to the Indians of Lenape. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ed Bankin along with Tad Kozaneski. Happy to be here tonight in always raucous Washington Township. Tad, the Minutemen, of course, last year they made the Group 4 semifinals. They are currently 5-3, but if you look at a couple of their losses, considering this team has suffered 2 losses in the lineup, it's a pretty respectable 5-3.
When you play in this division, Ed, no game is a given. One thing that's very surprising about this Washington Township team, they've been able to hang with a lot of tough teams, and they lost 2 key players. They lost one to graduation last year, and they lost their point guard, Jamie Huckle. But Jamie will be back in about 3 weeks. I think that's the key for Washington Township. If they can qualify for the playoffs, even if they come in at 500, when they get Huckle back, this is going to be a totally different team. They can be some damaged team at that point.
Speaking of qualifying for the playoffs, that is something the Lenape Indians are certainly striving for. Lenape comes in at 3-4. They started the season at 1-4. They've won 2 in a row. And Tad, the old Glassboro State Don't Call Us Rowan player, Kevin Kelly, the head coach of this team, he's put a lot of younger players in the lineup, but I think he wants to build that nucleus. At the same time, this team is still a dangerous opponent.
Yeah, you're going to have about 4 sophomores that are going to start in this game for Lenape tonight. So, yeah, there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some mistakes. But one thing they do have in their advantage, they have 6 and 7 seniors coming off the bench. So if they can stay close, they have a lot of senior leadership, but it's on the bench, Ed, and we'll see how that plays out as the game goes along.
Well, both teams have struggled for the most part offensively. We know Washington Township, how they can set it up and hit the 3 ball. Lenape, they won't rush it up. They'll try and play the half-court tempo. So, Tad, this could be a very low-scoring game, and this could be the kind of game where if one team gets off to a slow start shooting, it could have a carryover effect.
And the team I like in that is Washington Township. Washington Township proved it last year here on Suburban Cable. They can hit the 3-point shot when they have to. Usselton having a real fine season from long range right now. Crockett can also bury the 3-pointer well. If they get a good look at the basket with the 3, they'll take it all night long.
Well, it's early, but it's a big game for both teams. Some rough games ahead. Every game counts between now and the playoff cutoff. The Washington Township Minutemen versus the Lenape Indians. Coming up next right here. Very quickly, let's check the starting lineups first for the visiting Lenape Indians. Lenape with Andrew Gentile, Vince Osorio in the backcourt. The forwards, Ryan Wigmore and Chris Hall. The center for the Indians, Chris Unger. 3 sophomores in that lineup. For Washington Township, they go with a 3-guard lineup. Dave Crockett, Dave DiFrancesco, and Chris Usselton make up the backcourt. 2 forwards for the Minutemen, Michael Lozanoff and Ed Hoban. And Tad, as I send it over to you for play-by-play, you can almost call the Minutemen the MASH Minutemen this year. They've been, in more ways than one, a little under the weather.
It's tough to play when you're injured, when you're sick, whatever, and that's what they'd have to play through this year under head coach Steve Selby in his 12th year. He's 208-93. Lenape coach Kevin Kelly in his 3rd year at 22-33. Washington Township in the home white, they'll go from left to right. Lenape in the visiting red, they'll go from our right to our left. Jumping center for Township, Ed Hoban. Jumping up with him there is Wigmore, and it's controlled by Township. Keep an eye on that 3-point shooting that Township has, which can be deadly. Usselton leads him. He's number 11. He averages 14 points a game. Man-to-man defense now for Lenape. Inside they go to Hoban. Hoban gets his own rebound. Foul is called on a hold against Lenape.
Well, the Minutemen will get another opportunity here with the foul, but one thing we've noticed throughout much of the season is that Washington Township has struggled kind of uncharacteristically from their shooting standpoint, and law of averages will catch up.
Foul goes against Unger. That's his first, and that is converted by Hoban. His first 2. It's 2-0 Township.
That's one way to get your shooting percentage up, is to set it up with a play like that. A nice play on the inbounds designed for Hoban, and the Indians had to do a better job of denying him the basketball in the paint.
Township in a man-to-man defense against Lenape. The J from the outside, an air ball, and the shot there as it's missed by Osorio. Usselton up the gut, dishes off. Good drive here for Crockett. Crockett the layup for 2.
Well, Washington Township so far has taken it strong to the basket. 2 passes inside and now the drive inside. And Crockett's the kind of guy who can step up and have a big game if needed.
4-0 Washington Township. 2 layups. Not a good sign defensively if you're Lenape. Wigmore swings it across. They go inside, almost losing a handle. It goes out of bounds. Going to stay Lenape ball.
Well, the Indians, again, as we mentioned, going with 3 sophomores in their starting lineup and 2 seniors. Kevin Kelly says he wants this new generation to establish themselves early.
Gentile from the foul line, rebounded nicely by Hoban. Fast break far side for 3. Kaboom! Mike Lozanoff.
Kevin Kelly is standing with his hands by his side saying, this is not the start I wanted. Lenape packs it down low inside, but you have to pick up these Township shooters in the perimeter.
Mike Lozanoff, 3. We talked about that 3-pointer. Deadly as we look at it again, Ed.
He was wide open along the far side, and you can't leave these shooters open for Washington Township. And we've seen Township simply baffle teams with the way they execute offensively, finding the open shooters.
Township starting the game leading at 7-0. Crockett swings it far side for Lozanoff. Now Township will set it up. Francesco in now. Nice defensive play, but Township gets it right back. Usselton swings it back out. The 3 is long. Shot there by Lozanoff. Lenape looking for the first points of the game. They trail at 7-0. Wide open here for the layup, and they're on the board with Chris Hall.
And a good look inside to set Chris Hall up by Osorio, but the Indians right now, they have to find a way to change things defensively. Washington Township, every shot has been an open one so far.
Speaking of open, near side, Usselton swings it back out. Good drive there by Crockett. Crockett layup shot is short, rebounded beautifully, put up and missed. Lozanoff put it up, and a foul as Hoban will go to the free throw line.
Well, Washington Township is not noted for their size inside, but Ed Hoban's somebody that head coach Steve Selby wanted to see step up and really start making an impact on the boards. He said after last season, as strong as their season was, they needed some better play from inside the paint, and so far Hoban is providing that.
There it is again, Ed.
And watch Hoban again. Actually, only took it away from his own teammate, but Minutemen very aggressive on the board so far.
Hoban to shoot 2. He has 2 points tonight. He averages 13. Makes the first. That's the first free throw attempted by the Minutemen.
Washington Township, of course, as we see Kevin Kelly, the head coach of Lenape, missing Jeff Clauder, who's now playing at Wagner, and also Jamie Huckle, who hopes to be back before the season's over.
So Hoban goes 2 for 2 from the free throw line. It's now 9-2 Township. Good job to break the press here for Lenape. And they'll set it up now with Gentile. Township holds in the man-to-man. Gentile beats his man and dishes it off. Hall, 15-footer, yes. Hall now with 4.
Not much to defend against that. Washington Township couldn't have defended it any better. Hall with a tough fadeaway.
That 3 is partially deflected and then kicked out of bounds. It'll stay Township ball.
We mentioned the Indians have got to find a way to deny Township. They started in a bit of a man-to-man. They're dropping back into the same way, but it's a soft man-to-man right now. They've got to get aggressive on the shooters.
Usselton for 3, no good. Good box out and a rebound by Unger. Lenape trailing at 9-4. That was a big defensive stop for Lenape there. Unger, nice play inside, and going to foul line will be Hall.
Well, they're posting up Chris Hall now, the Indians, and they're challenging Washington Township to make the play. And the passers have been able to get a good look inside and able to find Hall going down low. So as Crockett picks up the foul, Chris Hall, there it is again. You see him get hammered. Crockett right there, by the time he's there, that's a good foul, because if he doesn't foul him, he's got an easy layup. The Minutemen can't let him get the ball in that close.
Hall's first free throw attempt of the game is good. Hall now with 5 points. He averages 17. He's a senior. Hall had 32 versus Cherry Hill West in their last game. Hits them both. Well, he's the guy you got to stop if you're Washington Township.
He's got all 6 points for Lenape so far, and this Lenape team like Township playing in this Olympic Conference set, you said it, they've had some very tough tests early in the season.
4:20 to play first quarter. Township leads at 9-6. Top of the key, wide open 3, Usselton in and out. Big rebound again by Wigmore. So Lenape with the 3 can actually tie it. looks like they're going to be rather patient, Ed, tonight, as you mentioned in the stand-up.
That's what we're seeing so far. They're not rushing things up offensively, but they are taking the time to get set in their half-court offense.
Wigmore, shot is short, rebounded by Hoban. Here comes Township up the floor quickly. Usselton now, and they'll set it up. Usselton drives the paint. Good job to dish that off. DeFrancesco is fouled on that one.
It looked like it was actually the second claw at the basketball. We've seen Chris Usselton miss a couple of shots so far. He's right now the top three-point shooter on this Washington Township team. Watch the play again. See, the second hack is where the foul came. But one thing about Usselton, he's been bothered by some kind of illness. They're not sure exactly what it is, whether it's just a bad flu that hasn't gone away, but that's part of the reason why he's struggling.
Stolen away by Gentile. Gentile then is fouled on the play by DeFrancesco, who picks up his first foul.
So Washington Township with the errant pass right there, and Steve Selby, you see, talking things over to Mike Lozanoff.
Steve Selby again at his 12th season, 208 wins, just 93 losses.
And he is one of the best in the business, no question about that.
Inside they go, and a foul over the back is Hoban. So Unger to the free throw line.
Indians are doing a much better job of getting their players to post up. And they're finding a way to get it to their shooters. And what's happening here is Washington Township, like Lenape, is sagging a little bit defensively, and that gives the passers clear lanes to find the open men.
Unger, a sophomore, to the free throw line. Not good on that one.
Washington Township, we mentioned, started 5-0, won their own holiday tournament here, beating Deptford, and a Vineland team which is expected to challenge this year in the Cape, although they've struggled early on.
Can't get the second one to fall either. It's rebounded by DeFrancesco. Township leads at 9-6, 3:30 to play first quarter here in Suburban Cable. Barely getting that out to Crockett. Hoban. Lozanoff for three. Short. Good hustling effort by Hoban. He's fouled. He's going to go to the free throw line, picking up the foul, Vince Osorio.
Well, Hoban has been active, to say the least, on the glass. And it's difficult when you play teams with size like Shawnee, but when you play a team like this, and you see the replay again, good battle for the rebound. This is where the coaching staff wants to see a player like Hoban really step up.
Hoban will shoot two. He was 2 for 2 from the free throw line, his first two. That one's no good.
Saw Kevin Kelly again a second ago. He was an outstanding shooter in his days at the former Glassboro State. There he is right there. Bothered a bit by knee injuries last year, but boy, he had some explosive games for the Profs.
This is both. 9-6 Township, 3:05 to play first quarter. Two men open near side. Get it to the near side now. Good job to kick it back to Hall. Hall for three, and the tie, yes, tied at 6. Hall now at 9.
Well, that's shooting with confidence. Chris Hall was kind of a lean-in three. It was a tough three-pointer to make, but early on, it looks like he's in the zone tonight.
9-9, 2:40 to play first quarter. Hoban, short on that one. Good effort underneath. The Township's going to keep, now they're going to lose it, I think. Good effort, though, Ed, by Usselton.
Well, that man is not have to be happy with what he's seeing. Steve Selby saw his team jump out to that quick 7-0 lead, but right now what they're not doing, Washington Township, is making the right pass on the offensive end, and they missed a couple of open shots as well.
Going to get a foul underneath with a push. Maybe either against, no, it's against Township. It's on Hoban. That's going to be his second foul, Ed.
And a shame for Hoban. It means he has to leave the game after playing very tough inside. So Joe Bronco steps in, and Tad, this guy right here is right now the true center for Township. We mentioned they start with 3 guards and 2 forwards, but Bronco is really the only true center right now on this team.
Tied at 9, Lenape with the ball. Wigmore. Backdoor pass there, boy, looks like Princeton on that one. Goes out of bounds, Township will keep it.
Lenape, like Washington Township, patience is their key offensively. And you see it again, good defensive play by the Minutemen.
And that's going to be a foul reaching in against Lozanoff. His first, the team's 5th foul already.
And that's something that has to be disturbing right now for Steve Selby, especially considering Hoban has 2. Fortunately for him, no other players with 2 fouls, but the Minutemen 2 fouls away from putting Lenape in the penalty.
2 minutes, 5 seconds to go. First quarter here in Suburban Cable. Tack House and Ed Benkin with you. We're tied at 9. This is a 3. Hall, no good. Going to get an over the back call here against Lenape. Believe this went against Unger.
So Washington Township right now has got to come up with a better opportunity offensively. When Lenape tightened things up, Washington Township forced a couple of shots, forced a couple of passes. Here it is again.
This is actually against Wigmore.
See, you got a great look at it right there. His left arm around the arm of Joe Bronco.
So Wigmore picks up his 2nd. That's the team's 5th. Nice play inside and an easy layup for Bronco.
And that's Washington Township at its finest. They find a way to find the open man, and that's what makes them effective, even against teams that are in some cases taller and more talented.
11-9, Township leads at 1:20 to play first quarter. Lenape again, they trail at 7-0. They're fighting and hanging in this one. Looks like we might be in for a good one tonight. Gentile now. Gentile loses the handle, stolen away by Lazanoff. Osselton loses the handle, stolen back by Lenape. Good job to hold up by Hall.
And this is what Kevin Kelly wants. A little helter-skelter there, back-to-back turnovers. He says slow it down, and Hall obliges.
50 seconds to play first quarter. Gentile. Now Unger. Driving with it is Asurio. Short on that one. Nice rebound on deflection. Hall, no good. Going to get a foul underneath. And a push-off, I believe, against Lenape.
It's against that man right there, Craig Voigt.
His first foul.
He comes off the bench and commits his first foul. So you mentioned all the bench players for Lenape seniors. Ted, we were here 2 seasons ago. We saw a playoff game between these 2 teams. Some of these guys coming off the bench, including Craig Vogt, were starters.
11-9 Township, 25 seconds to play first quarter.
Township might want to hold for the last shot here.
Thinking about a pass, but slipping on the far side was Usselton. 15 seconds. They are playing for the last one. 10 seconds. Lazanoff inside. Bronco lost the handle, but they'll keep it with 4 seconds.
A lot of times teams on this quick inbounds play try to find somebody in the paint. Township likes to find an open 3-point shooter in a situation like this.
Go inside. Bronco partially blocked by Unger, and that is going to do it for action here in the first quarter. Washington Township leads at 11-9. You're watching high school basketball on Tri-State Media. Interesting to see who gets into the Super Bowl as we start the second quarter. Nice play inside. Hall misses that one. Rebounded by DeFrancesco. Usselton drives the lane, contact, no call, but Township will keep it.
There was contact, and if there had been a foul call, it would have been borderline, but it looked a little worse than it was, and Gentile, give him credit because he decided to try and draw the foul, but that made it look a little worse than it was.
DeFrancesco comes out of the game now. Usselton from the foul line, and he's going to go to the free throw line anyways. He's fouled. Now, I don't know if, yeah, he will go to the free throw line.
Well, we've talked about how Washington Township's had players who have been sick and players who have missed time in the lineup. Usselton is one of the guys they really can ill afford to not have out there. They're not really sure, again, if it's a flu or some other kind of just chronic fatigue. And meanwhile, he still has to go and get out there, and he's giving every minute he can for the Minutemen.
Misses his first. As a team, they are now 2 for 5 from the free throw line. Usselton averages 14 points a game.
One thing Steve Selby told us earlier in the week, these guys really haven't had a chance to rest and try and fight all their flu bugs because they've had school, more games during their winter break, and then school, and then back to school and games again.
Another interesting note, I had a chance to talk to the Lenape coaching staff before the game. They weren't too happy they didn't have a chance to practice for this Washington Township game because of the snow. So they're coming into this game, they feel unprepared. But they're hanging. There's a backdoor pass, and Vogt converts. His first two. It's now 12-11 Township.
That's a great look by Chris Hall, and Vogt made a cut, and his defender lost him. That was an easy basket for Vogt because Joe Bronco was caught on the switch, beaten on the back door.
Township went out to a 7-0 lead. They've only mustered 5 points since then. They lead at 12-11. Usselton for three. That's long. Rebounded by Hall. Hall swings it over in the corner. Back to Hall. Stolen away, though, by Crockett. Crockett inside the paint. Short off the glass. Rebounded nicely again by Hall. Looks like a repeat here. No, this isn't a replay. Oh, nice try to no-look pass there by Osorio.
That's Kevin Kelly off the bench. We've talked how he has preached patience for the Indians, and last couple trips down the court, they did not have that.
Tim Schaff, a senior, now into the game for Lenape. He replaces Vogt. Baseline drive, Usselton. Shot long. Good effort on the rebound for Schaff. Here's an open one for Hall. Hall converts. He now has 11 points. 11 of the 13.
First lead of the game for the Indians, and for a team that likes to slow it down, they catch Township napping a little bit. This team can score in the transition if they have the numbers. It's smart basketball by Lenape.
So Lenape now leads at 13-12. 5:56 to play first half. Crockett for three. Short. Nice rebound there for Lenape. Lenape's controlled the glass, Ed, the last 10 minutes or so.
Ever since Hoban went out with his second personal foul, Lenape has had their way on the boards.
That's a real good point, Ed, because Hoban grabbed the majority of those rebounds. Running one-hander and an offensive foul. That's going against Gentile. That'll be his first.
One other thing to note, too, is it's not really Joe Bronco's fault as much, because it's a situation where the way Lenape's offense is set, when he's watching Vogt, he's outside. Watch it again right there. Great position underneath, though, by Bronco. Makes the switch to get over. That's textbook on the defensive end.
James O'Neill now in the game for Washington Township. Township trailing 13-12, 5:25 to play first half. Dunn here in a shot, in and out. Nice rebound, Bronco, and Bronco stole it away.
Well, we say Washington Township's been struggling on the glass since Hoban went out. Bronco steps up. He's had some big games. Had a big game early in the year against Deptford in the holiday tournament. Another player who is young but starting to step up.
Nick Dunn also now in the game for Township. Good steal there by Crockett as he goes into the crowd. James Crockett, outstanding athlete. Great name, too.
Yes, three-way star for Washington Township. Of course, plays baseball during the spring and quarterback of the football team.
Vogt, baseline, picks up his dribble. Gentile now, back to Vogt. Three-pointer for Schaff, no good. That's loose. Look out, coming our way. It's going to be Township ball. Streaming in there with Gentile. There's going to stands Crockett.
It's a bleacher night here at Washington Township. You get the first row, you sit with one of the players. But this is starting to shape up to be a chippy Olympic American battle.
14-13, Township leads it. Crockett splits the defense. O'Neill now, almost double dribbled. They're really doing a good job of spreading the floor. Crockett now for Dunn.
Minutemen are in no hurry here. They wait for the right shot.
Crockett for three, kaboom! He now has 5.
And there it is, and that's what Washington Township was not doing at the end of the first quarter. They took their time, no rush offensively. Of course, no shot clock in high school basketball, and they find the open shooter.
Minutemen lead at 17-13, under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Hall's been the entire offense thus far. Drives the paint, he's fouled by Crockett. It's going to pick up his second. That should just about put them at the 1-1. That's the 16th foul. Next one will put us in the 1-1.
And Hall does not have blazing speed, but he has what you would call a little deceptive quickness in the paint. He's got a good first step to the basket, so he can put it on the floor and drive when he has to.
Dave DeFrancesco back into the game for Township. Taking a seat will be Crockett. Township now leads it by 4 with 3:40 to play in the first half. Hall from 15, no good. Good rebound inside for Shaft. He can't get it to fall, and it's rebounded by Bronco.
That's the kind of rebound the big man has to get. Bronco just clearing everybody else out using his height advantage.
17-13 Township. Lenape hanging in here. Remember, they trailed this game 7-0 at one point. Nice play inside. Bronco for 2. He now has 6.
And that's how you finish. You go strong into the glass. That was a nice pass and nice catch by Bronco, but more importantly, he turned, went to the glass right away. If he hesitates, 2 defenders there could get the shot blocked.
Hall swings it off. Here's Vogt. Vogt short. Rebounded by Bronco. Township will run it up the floor. DeFrancesco thought about 3. Now swings it near side. Lozanoff for 3. No.
Well, I don't know if that was the shot Steve Selby wanted either. We mentioned how good these shooters are, but early in the offensive set, Lozanoff a little off balance putting that shot up.
Nice play inside. Hall travel. That's a turnover.
Well, Washington Township defensively has, for the most part, shut Lenape down the last few trips. They've clamped down a bit inside, and they're making things tougher for the Indians to drive into the paint.
You saw Hall there for a second. He has 11 of the team's 13 points. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to play first half. Township leads at 19-13. This is done. They're getting some good looks at the basket. Bronco swings it over for Usselton. Drives the lane, layup long. Rebounded by Hall.
Usselton wanted a foul there, didn't get it.
Wigmore, coast to coast. Ooh, maybe some interference, but no, he missed the layup.
That's what Kevin Kelly, I think, was looking for. We saw the hand touch the net, but did not affect the shot.
If you're Lenape, you needed that last one. You trail at 19-13. 1:35 to play first half. Dunn drives. Usselton. Township continues to spread the floor. DeFrancesco is fouled. Reaching in, I believe it's Wigmore. If that's him, it's his 3rd.
So good job by that man. David DeFrancesco has had some big sneakers to fill, to say the least, because he's had to step in and kind of run the point guard spot until Jamie Huckle comes back. Now, in the long run, it's going to help Washington Township tremendously because he's going to gain valuable experience, and he has done a fine job so far.
Chris Unger, a sophomore, back in the game. There's Dave DeFrancesco. He'll go to the free throw line. Makes the first of a 1-1.
You almost got the sense last year, even though Washington Township did not make the finals, the fact that they beat Atlantic City, a perennial power in the quarters, got to the semis, lost to the eventual state champs in their own gym by just a couple of points, that the program itself went up another level as far as expectations.
Township now 4 for 8 from the free throw line. They lead it by 7, 20-13, 1:10 to play first half. Gentile. Challenged by O'Neal. And O'Neal's going to be called. Now we're going to get a foul underneath against Hall, Ed. That's going to be his 2nd. That, I believe that is against Lenape, Ed.
Yes, that is.
That's Hall. It's his 2nd foul.
Foul is on number 20.
And it is, so Kevin Kelly's going to have to get him on the bench. He doesn't like the call. Watch Hall coming in. There he is. See the left arm you saw right before the official came in, right there. That's an excellent call, that left arm. You got a great look. It was wrapped up around Nick Dunn.
Nick Dunn now the free throw line. 20-13 Township leads it. Again, as a team 4 for 8 from the free throw line. That's Dunn's first point of the night.
He's someone who can come off the bench and help in a lot of different ways in minutes. Not just with points necessarily, but contributing off the bench in a lot of different ways.
Nice rebound underneath by Unger. We've got 1 minute to play first half. Township leads at 21-13. done a good job of holding Hall at bay. Hall thought about 3. Now Gentile back to Hall. Hall's fouled before the shot by Usselton. That's his first.
That's actually not a bad foul by Usselton, although the one downside is it does put him at the line for a 1-on-1, but he's got an easy 2 if he doesn't foul him. And the Indians are finding a way to get the ball to Hall. They're crisscrossing a lot in the paint, and Hall sliding through the openings.
Chris Hall, who averages 17 points a game, he's a senior. He has 11 of the team's 13 points, as you see it again.
Foul came right before the shot, and now Hall, who's 2 for 2 tonight at the line, goes to the stripe.
Lenape is 2 for 4 as a team. Hall now at 12.
Shooter's touch for Hall right there. The good shooters have that, and Steve Selby's happy his team has the lead, but they had a couple chances to get a bigger lead early on. We see the bleacher fans too, Dad, in the background there.
Second half, it won't be as easy a foul shot for Lenape. Hall hits them both. It's now 21-15 Township, 40 seconds to play first half.
Minutemen get it across court without any problems. They might hold for the final shot.
30 seconds to play first half. Looks like they are going for the last one. 20 seconds. DeFrancesco. Lozanoff. 14 seconds. Bronco. O'Neal. 8 seconds. DeFrancesco. Fade away from 15. Yes! He now has 3, and that is going to do it for action here in the first half.
Ed Benkin and Tad Gazaneski back here in Washington Township as we start the second half, and very quickly Ed Hoban lays 2 up for the Minutemen, so Washington Township now on top by a score of 25-15 as we get second half action underway. 23-15 at the half. The Minutemen start with a basket, and now Chris Hall works the other way for the Indians. In the road red with the gray numerals, Washington Township the home white with the dark blue numerals. Washington Township, of course, going from right to left. Now there's a loose ball. Hall puts it the fadeaway. Can't get the shot to go down this time. It's out of bounds. Who wants it? And it's Lenape's ball.
Both teams go with the man-to-man defense, and that makes screening very, very important. If you get a good screen on, you can often get open.
There's the lob pass inside, and Vogt can't pick it up, and Washington Township looks to run. DeFrancesco, nice pass up ahead, layup, no good by Lozanoff, and the Indians have the rebound. Gentile takes it, and now the Indians will set up offensively. This is Gentile running the point. Pounded in there by DeFrancesco. Ball is loose. Scramble on the floor. Tie up. Possession now points the way to Lenape.
That's a great job by Vogt to get in there. It looked like initially going to have the ball was Lozanoff, but Vogt hustled and got in there very quickly. There you see him right there. That was a heck of a play.
So Chris Hall had a big first half. 13 points for inbound. Until looking for help, looks to lob it, now sends it cross court to Hall. Nice pass back up to Vogt. Both teams playing patient offensively. Gentile shot blocked from behind inside, and a whistle. Out of bounds. The ball belongs to Lenape. That was a clean block, however, by DeFrancesco, who can get up.
He's a little guy, but he skied on that one. There you see him there. He got way up.
Oh, having trouble getting the inbound in. Now finally sends it out. Gentile almost lost it. Nice save across the timeline, and Vogt's got it. Gentile now he switches over to Osorio. Osorio tries to drive past Usselton. Nice defensive play, and the Minutemen have the turnover. DeFrancesco, up it goes to Usselton. Double team, now sends it back up top, and DeFrancesco will set 6:25 to go in the third quarter. Washington Township leading 25-15. Usselton forces a shot. It's partially blocked, and Vogt has the rebound. So Hall will take it for the Indians as they look to get set up offensively. Now Gentile will cross the timeline.
What you want to watch at home is watch under the basket. Watch how they try and screen and get open.
Now they work it up top to Vogt. Good defense again by Hoban, and Vogt sends it out. Hall for 3, around the rim, no good, and DeFrancesco skies for the rebound. Sends it up ahead, Crockett's wide open, steps up, thought about 3, now drives, bounces inside, Lozanoff has the layup.
That is a big-time pass by Crockett. He saw they were coming to play him defensively. Nice kickoff pass for the easy layup.
He's pretty good at passing. We saw that during football season. Timeout taken, and that's a wholesome snack right there.
Does he have the wrapper off?
That's the blow pop, I think.
Looks like he still has the wrapper on, Ed.
It's the kind with the gum in the middle. That's pretty good stuff.
I see.
Plenty of great basketball also coming your way on the Tri-State Media Network. Next break, we'll fill you in on what's happening next week and some of the other games the rest of the season here. And we'd also like to welcome our viewers watching this game on Garden State Cable. A lot of Lenape fans, no doubt, tuning this in the Mount Laurel area. 27-15 Washington Township, and now Vogt has it far side.
That was a pretty good timeout there by Lenape to get in and regroup, Ed. They really letting this game get away, trailing it by 12. Offensively, they need to get something going.
After the ball's knocked out of bounds, Hall will look to inbound. Out top to Osorio, and Usselton bumps into him, and they'll catch Chris Usselton with his second personal foul.
Well, you're going to get that when you have aggressive defense like the Minutemen have, and Usselton just kind of got caught off balance there.
Not a shooting situation, just the first team foul of the second half of the Minutemen, who were in the penalty early in the first half. 5:20 to go in the third. Osorio outside, it goes to Vogt.
So right now, Crockett's on Hall, and Crockett's doing a heck of a job. You can see Hall at the bottom of your screen, real frustrated right now.
Yeah, that time either somebody zigged where they should have zagged, or the pass was just thrown the wrong way. There were two Indians in the area, but neither of them were near the basketball. 27-15 and now 29-15 is DiFrancesco with the impressive drive.
And very important there was the first step. He has a real quick first step and blew right by the defender.
So the largest lead of the game for the Minutemen at 14. Osorio for three, leaves it short. Rebound battle for inside. Hoban can't get it. Hall's got it with a nice move. He is hit and he is fouled. This will be a non-shooting foul, probably against Lozanoff, his second.
That's really the first time Hall's touched the ball in a while on the open floor. And again, Crockett's playing him right now, doing a heck of a job, not only keeping the ball away from that young man, Hall, but frustrating him.
34, Ryan Wigmore.
Well, Ryan Wigmore, who went to the bench early in the first half, is back in the game for the Indians. Oh, with a pass inside, Gentile lays it in.
That's Gentile's first point of the game, Ed, and they needed that big time.
29-17, and now there's a steal, so Lenape comes right back with a turnover. Gentile puts up the short shot, no good. DiFrancesco with the rebound for the Minutemen, looking to run it up for Washington Township. Looks to go down the paint, a whistle, and a blocking foul called inside against Lenape.
And you can see how good Washington Township is on the fast break and in the open floor. And Lenape played right with their hands that last time down, coming right up the floor, the quick shot. Township is tough in the fast court game, Ed, real quick.
So Andrew Gentile, I apologize for mispronouncing his name on that last basket, gets the personal foul. Hoban takes the pass, forces up the shot, but gets the roll.
Number 42.
Well, it wasn't pretty, Ed, but he got the shooter's roll there, but you got to try and stop that entry-level pass from the inbound.
Had a strong game with 8 points, missed much of the first half because of foul trouble, but has played well when he's in there. There's a quick pass to Osorio, and Hoban takes it away.
That's a case of just trying too much there, trying too hard.
Francesco for the Minutemen. Now Lozanoff outside. Back up top, it goes to Hoban. Now they swing the balls. DiFrancesco's got it far side. Crockett and a whistle. And a foul inside, an offensive foul called against Washington Township, and that might be against Hoban. That would be his third.
Looked like he tried to set a screen and threw the elbow in there, and the referee didn't like it.
Officials have called a pretty nice game so far tonight. We've seen a couple on our replay. A lot of correct calls on some tough plays to call. Gentile now has it near side. Sends it to Wigmore top. Tries to feed one inside the Hall. He's triple teamed, and he is fouled.
Well, Crockett's on him, but they did a good time of double teaming, as you said there, Ed, and they're really frustrating Hall. Hall has 13 of the team's 17 points.
Nick Dunn commits the foul. That's the team's fourth. Dunn's first. Hoban now with 3 fouls will leave the game. And Joe Bronco, who had 6 points off the bench in the first half, returns. And they try to feed inside. A forced shot, no good, and a whistle, and a late foul called against Bronco. As going up strong to the glass was Chris Unger.
That's a good point. Unger went strong. It's the first time in a while somebody has taken it to the hoop real strong, and Unger's going to go to the free throw line.
So very quickly again, 5 team fouls against the Minutemen. So Lenape 2 more fouls away from getting the penalty. They can creep back in this game if they convert here at the charity stripe. Unger is 0 for 2 tonight, but now 1 for 3, his first point of the game as he drains it. Lenape now 5 for 7 from the free throw line. Unger is one of the 3 starting sophomores on the Indians, and he cannot get the second one to roll in. So he's 1 out of 4 rather on the light for the free throw line. And the Minutemen will take control, leading by 13, 31-18, 3:20 to go in this third quarter.
And this is where the defense really has to step things up for Lenape. Maybe take some chances. You really have to work hard on your man in the man-to-man defense.
Dunn looking for some up feeds, Lozanoff. Outside, Crockett thought about 3, now steps in, steps back out as he gives up the dribble. Bronco strong inside, can't get the roll, battle for the rebound, and the foul goes against Bronco, and that will be his second.
That was a nice initial move by Bronco, Ed, but the problem he had is when he shot the ball, he didn't square his shoulders to the basket. It was falling away. It's very hard to sink it into the basket, Ed, without the shoulders facing. Now watch, as he lets this go, he starts facing the other way. Tough shot, and then over the back of the foul.
A little bit of, I think, frustration foul going for the rebound as well. So Washington Township leads by 13 as Gentile works it up for the Indians. Hall was thinking about driving and putting up a 3. Nice quick pass inside, layup, no good by Gentile. And the rebound comes away to Washington Township as DiFrancesco takes it up. In case you're wondering, Chris Hall is one of the 2 seniors who start for Lenape. And DiFrancesco will pull it out, and the Minutemen will smartly set up for a good shot. Francesco driving and an offensive foul. Excellent defense by Gentile as he stood his ground. And he caught DiFrancesco with the right forearm.
Fouls on number 10.
Well, good effort there defensively. And again, that's how Lenape's going to have to be able to get back in the game defensively. Now they've got to convert at the other end of the floor.
Yeah, with these 2 teams, you see it on both ends. Not a lot of pressing, not a lot of up-tempo unless the numbers are there. Both teams just come up and set up in their half-court offense. Indians have got to find someone other than Hall to start putting the ball in the basket. Unger was looking for Hall and he couldn't find him. And he tried to get it to Hall, and Crockett steals, looking to take it all the way, blocked by Hall, but a foul call.
Well, good foul by Hall there. If you're going to foul it, you might as well foul like that one and get him good. That's what he did there, and it was interesting watching Crockett come up the floor. He had to dodge our official, Ed Miller, to try and get that layup.
Chris Hall, his third foul.
But he took it strong to the basket, and as a reward, he will go to the free throw line. So the Minutemen back at the charity stripe. They've had some visits there tonight. So far on the night, though, they are 5 for 8, and now 5 for 9 as Crockett misses. Washington Township coming in at 5 and 3, and as we know, every game counts for these teams. We'll talk about their schedules in a little bit. For Washington Township, things are going to get much more difficult after this game. Second free throw is good by Crockett, and the Minutemen are back up by 14. 32-18, under 2 minutes to go. You're in a fast-moving third quarter, one of the fastest-moving games we've had all season. Took off just about an hour ago, and we're late in the third. Oh, drive by Wigmore, contact, and stuttering out of control is Wigmore, and I believe we had an offensive foul, maybe a technical now, too.
That's the worst call I've ever heard.
Nick Dunn, Ed, right there is going to pick up a technical. Now, I think the initial foul was an offensive foul, but Dunn thought it was against him.
Ryan Wigmore.
And he's hot right now.
And that goes back to the way the young man drove the lane, Ed. The young man drove the lane like he was a fullback trying to get 1 yard into the end zone. So obviously a lot of confusion here as you look at head coach Steve Selby. We may get fouls at each end of the floor here, Ed, if I have this correct.
Well, the technical is called against Dunn, so Hall, who's been scoreless this half, goes to the free throw line. And he drains his free throw. He is 5 for 5 from the line tonight, and he has 14 points. Minutemen are still discussing things with Nick Dunn. I'm not sure if it was just something that he said.
I'm sure it was something verbal, Ed.
Meanwhile, Hall converts. It's both free throws, and the Indians back within 12 at 32-20. And Hall is 6 for 6 from the line tonight.
That's a big break for Lenape. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Indians coming in at 3-4, and as we mentioned, it's still so early, you'd think, but a lot of teams here need every win they can get as far as making that playoff cutoff. Hall makes the fadeaway jumper looks easy as he switches it home.
That's a smart play by Hall because Crockett tried to steal it, took himself out of the play. Hall saw that, stepped up, and buried the jumper.
32-22, Minutemen on top. 1:20 to go in the third. Bronco, boy, they're daring him to take the three, but he won't. Whistle and a foul called. An offensive foul against Washington Township, and I believe that'll be Lozanoff's third.
They're battling away. I said watch underneath the basket. They are definitely battling for position, and Ed, we're going to the charity line. It's going to be 1-1.
They will shoot the rest of the way, and 3 more fouls will put Lenape in the bonus. And look who's going to the line. Kevin Kelly could take a few free throws in his time, too.
Very good player, Ed.
So Hall to the stripe. And again, he is 6 for 6 tonight from the line. And his first free throw is good. So far, the bleacher faithful not causing too much of a distraction behind the basket.
Very casual tonight, Ed.
You see the angle view of them right there. There's a lot right behind the basket, but they're just kind of taking it all in right now. Now some noise going. And Hall misses his first miss of the night. And now we get a whistle and a timeout taken by Washington Township. Well, don't forget, next week, more great basketball coming your way here on the Tri-State Media Network. Now, for our viewers here in the Turnersville, Pleasantville area, all the way from Washington Township to the Jersey Shore, only one local game this week. We'll explain to you why in a moment. It's a good one. You and I are going to be at Rowan University on Wednesday. Doubleheader women's and men's. It will be live starting at 6 p.m. Wednesday. Stockton versus Rowan women. Stockton versus Rowan men. Both men's teams unbeaten right now.
That is just going to be a wild atmosphere, Ed. It's been a long time since you and I have been in there to do a game together, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And again, you can see that game live Wednesday night, and we will also have the doubleheader between Rowan and Stockton at Stockton on February 17th. That will also be live here on the Tri-State Media Network. 55 seconds to go. Let's see if the Minutemen might even want to work the clock down to the end of the quarter. They lead by 9 as Crockett has it. Feeds O'Neal, who's into the game. Up top now, Lozanoff. Crockett. And the Minutemen, I think, just content to pass it around here and play for the final shot. O'Neal drives into traffic and instead pulls it out to DiFrancesco. 25 seconds to go in the third.
And mentally, this is a big bucket here if they can get it, because it puts them into a double-digit lead if they can hit it.
Patience and slowing things down on offense. We've seen it with the boys and girls teams here at Washington Township in years. 10 seconds. DiFrancesco, nice pass, but it's batted away. O'Neal loses out of bounds, and the Indians take over with 8 seconds left.
It's a heads-up play by O'Neal, but he tried to do too much of this. He spun himself right out of bounds.
Lenape has to hurry now as Osorio rushes it up. 5 seconds. O'Neal with the strip and a whistle and a foul called against Osorio.
This may be a flagrant foul, if I get my signals correct.
That's what Steve Selby wants. O'Neal made a nice play to knock the ball away.
It looked like a tackle from our angle, but I guess not. They'll just say on the arm, Ed.
So the Minutemen have 4 seconds to go in the third, and Crockett will inbound right in front of the Indians coaching staff. Guns went up ahead. Lozanoff's got to look for 3. It's no good. DiFrancesco rebound, no good. And that will do it. The third quarter comes to an end here at Washington Township. The score, Washington Township 32, Lenape 23. Minutemen hold the lead.
Looks like Lenape's spreading their D now.
Minutemen obliged with some long passing as Crockett's got it.
Looks like a zone trap, Ed.
Ooh, DiFrancesco almost had it stolen. O'Neal feeds beautifully to Lozanoff, and he gets the roll.
Well, with the zone trap, you want to spread the floor and do cross passes. That's what they did there. Township was able to handle it and gets the easy basket.
34-23. Washington Township gets the double-digit lead back. I believe the Indians are going to try and find a way to get the ball to Chris Hall again. Gentile. Near side, spreads the floor for the Indians. Looks for the screen from Vogt as he pulls it out.
Crockett's just doing a great job, though, against Hall, Ed.
That's a great battle, but Hall gets by him this time, and he strains the jumper right down the chute. But Chris Hall, when he gets the open shot, you can almost put it in the book right away.
He has 20 of his team's 25 points, Ed.
34-25, and he is keeping his team in the ball game. And the Minutemen, as we see once again, no rush offensively. Now Crockett will drive down the paint and put it home.
Well, I think it was a good job by Lenape to switch up their defense, Ed, but 2 layups here, I think you got to switch to something else. Township's just too quick and eating it up.
And we talked about how the Minutemen slow it down. They can almost lull you to sleep. And then just like that, you look up and someone like Crockett or DiFrancesco's down the paint. Here comes Vogt. Nice strip by Lozanoff as he takes it away.
You can just see the frustration in Hall's face, Ed. He's just having a real tough night. 20 points and having a tough night.
Looking for some help. You're right, though. He's not getting it right now. Crockett loses his dribble, and Hoban is back in the game. Lozanoff with a short jumper. That's back in the rim, no good. Hall's got the rebound, and he is fouled by Lozanoff. And let's check the last play again.
Nice pass there. There's one for the highlight reels, but not able to convert. There's the steal. Nice steal by Lozanoff. He's the one that picks up the foul, Ed.
His 4th personal. Good sportsmanship there by Hall, too, helping Lozanoff out. There are some nasty rivalries, but a lot of them are respectful. And I know we've harped on it so much as we get a timeout here. It's been great since the 3 Lenape district schools have come into this conference.
And looking at some of the scores for Lenape this year, Ed, their lowest output this year was in their first game with Paul Six. They scored 37. They have 25 at the moment. So that tells you how well this Washington Township defense has shut them down.
Well, things do get tougher for the Minutemen after this. Look what's on the horizon for Washington Township. 3 top 10 teams. Eastern on the 19th, or top 20 teams at least. Eastern coming up next Tuesday, the 19th. Friday, January 22nd, they will host Bishop Eustace. Hopefully that young lady will be in attendance. And then on Thursday, January 28th, they will travel to Cherry Hill East. So 3 very difficult games coming up for the Minutemen. 3 other games after that before the cutoff. Vineland at Vineland, who they've beaten already. Edgewood, who is struggling this year at home. And then at Cherokee, who beat the Minutemen by 2. So you'd have to say, looking at that schedule, if you want to go by, even if the Minutemen have a tough time in this next stretch here, they'll be in the playoffs this year. Turn at the free throw line again, and he misses his 2nd in a row. So he has been perfect, but he misses his last 2.
Let's see if Lenape mixes up their defense here on this set. Let's see if they even come with the press if they make it.
Hall drains his 2nd
There
free
it
throw.
is. There's the press.
So there's the change defensively for the Indians as they trail by 10 with 5:57 to go. Crockett just rushes it up and beats it single-handedly. Indians drop back. Crockett finds the open man. DiFrancesco thought about 3, instead will spread it out. Storio watching DiFrancesco, so he'll feed it off. Dunn, who's back into the game. Hoban back to Dunn. Helter-skelter a little bit, but a great pass to O'Neal. Blocked inside by the Indians, and Vogt's got it. Up ahead, Chris Hall is wide open, lays it up and in.
That's a great job by Vogt to see the floor and get it up there. A little bit of excitement now for Lenape and a timeout for Township.
So the Indians making a run, a timeout taken with 5:19 to go in the 4th quarter, 36-28. Washington Township on top.
Lenape right back at him. If you just consistently keep it going throughout the game is what you have to do.
Crockett to inbound for the Minutemen, and there's the Lenape press once again. Hoban's got the inbound, hands it back to Crockett, and he is fouled by Vogt.
Well, Lenape knows that they're going to have to be a little extra aggressive, trailing by 8 here, so they'll take a foul like that if they have to.
That's Vogt's 3rd, and it's the team's 5th, so they still have 1 to give before Township shoots.
Wow.
There's a great pass by Crockett to DiFrancesco. Osorio with a hard block as he commits the foul. And I don't think that's a breakaway foul. And again, to Osorio's credit, he held up DiFrancesco after he fouled him.
That should never happen, though, Ed. That easy of a layup on an inbounds pass. He did the wise thing, though, once he was beat. Don't give him the easy 2. Make him earn it at the free throw line.
And that is what he will have to do as he goes to the charity stripe. Don't forget, we'll have post-game coverage. We'll hear from the winning coach and one or two of the winning players as well on either side. And the first free throw is good by DiFrancesco. He has 6 points on the night. He's 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Lines up his second free throw and makes it look easy. He swishes it home. 38-28. Township keeps answering every Lenape run. And they are back up by 10. Gentile looking for Hall. Hall's got it. He's watched by Crockett again. Here they go one-on-one. Hall dribbles through the paint, almost lost it. Osorio's got it. Inside, Hoban knocks it away. It's still Lenape ball.
This Township defense is really giving Lenape some problems. Again, the problem Lenape has, they have one go-to guy, and Township knows it.
That's why you see a couple extra white jerseys surrounding Chris Hall after he's watched by Crockett. He can afford to cheat a little bit the way things have been going. Wigmore, inside it goes to Hall. Spins, fires, rattles home the fadeaway.
That was in a double team, too.
25 now for Hall, 30 for Lenape, 38 for Washington Township. 4:35 to go, and Crockett rushes it up. O'Neal thought about it, but instead he'll pass it out, and now Dunn's got it. Dunn, watched by Hall. DiFrancesco's got it now back to O'Neal. O'Neal just sends it outside to Crockett. Minutemen now taking their time. Hoban's got it along the baseline, back to Crockett, and traveling call. Crockett thought about the 3, put it on the floor for 2, and Chris Hall urging his teammates on now, as Lenape can cut it to 6 or 5 in the 3-pointer.
Now is the time. Coach Selby just dropped the ball in front of him. Didn't want to pass. Looks like he's going to get a warning right now for that.
He's getting a warning for that, but that was an accident.
Well, usually you'll pass the ball to the ref, but he just lets it sit in front of him. This is the time now for Lenape, Ed. Lenape needs to go on a run right now to have any shot to win this game.
And they most likely will try to find Hall again. Open, fires for 3, that's good!
Well, that says it even more what a great night he's having, Ed, because Township knows he's their guy. 29 points, and a timeout taken by Washington Township with 3:48 to go, 38-33. Indians have creeped within 5, and we've got a ball game here at Washington Township. Holy Spirit, who's a top 10 team with one of the best players in South Jersey, and Blake Morgan, and Eastern, who's considered by many to be one of the toughest teams in this division. So they've had quality losses as well. Osorio hounding DiFrancesco as he brings the ball up, and he lost it. Here comes the double team. Ball stripped. Osorio's got it. Going it all over the layup. Puts it home. It's a 3-point game. Lenape's on that run, Ed, to get it back.
Here's a steal. Osorio to Hall. Jumper. No good. Rebound inside. Boat can't get it. Hoban does. And Steve Selby wants a timeout, so a timeout taken with 3:16 to go. It's a 3-point lead for Washington Township, and Lenape on a 7-0 run. But of course, they're 5-3 overall. It's a minefield every night if you look at this division.
That's why you get great games like this. That's also why when these teams do qualify for the playoffs, they're almost playoff tested, because you're playing playoff-like teams game in and game out.
And you see it year in and year out. We saw Washington Township go to Atlantic City and win in the quarterfinals last year. Atlantic City, one of the rare exceptions, a Cape team that plays a lot of tough non-conference games, but the Minutemen's conference war certainly made them battle-tested. And they lead by just 3 as DiFrancesco brings it up, watched by Osorio again. Now O'Neal's got it. O'Neal gives up his dribble. DiFrancesco's got it with 3 minutes to go on the court.
Townsend's doing a good job, Ed, of not panicking here. Running the offense. There's a travel.
Traveling call against Crockett as Wigmore creates the turnover, and you can feel the momentum shift going right now. Minutemen have to be wondering what's happening here. A 3-pointer can tie the game. Oh. Inside wide open Wigmore, he lays it in.
Great job by Vogt to see the wide open pass there.
It's a 1-point game, 38-37, and Crockett's got it. Crockett is handed by Wigmore, but he'll go strong to the basket. Hit and a foul called against Vogt. That's his fourth.
That's a good job by Crockett. Washington Township needed something offensively. They've struggled the last 5 or 6 times down the floor. Crockett aggressively to the hoop draws the foul.
Team 7.
Big free throws coming up now for Crockett.
Just so you know, for the people at home, the man with the glasses right there is Tony Powers. He's the longtime Gloucester Catholic coach. He is an assistant coach under Kevin Kelly and doing a great job of helping this program.
Crockett misses his first free throw.
Wow.
He is now 1 for 3 from the line tonight. Washington Township is 8 for 13. And now 9 of 14 as Crockett hits his second free throw. 2-point game, 39-37-2, 20 to go in the fourth. Gentile drives, fires the jumper, gets the roll, and we're tied at 39.
Well, we definitely have shooter-friendly rims here. That just sat on the front and rolled in.
Crockett outside to O'Neal, back up top it goes to DiFrancesco. 2 minutes to go, deadlock here in Washington Township. Crockett splits 2 defenders, great pass, layup good by Hoban.
What a play by Crockett, Ed.
41-39, Hall for 3, no good, rebound Vogt inside, he puts it home, we're tied again.
Just a heads-up play on the 3-point miss to put it home.
41-41, 1.5 to go in the fourth. Close enough. DiFrancesco. Indians have really stepped it up on the defensive end. DiFrancesco drives. And a foul called against Osorio. They might call Gentile now, let's see. No, it is against Osorio, I believe.
33, Craig. Vogt his 5th foul.
Now they're going to call Vogt, and that's his 5th. Watch him come in right there. Actually, I think this is a bad break. It looked like you saw it right there. Osorio had the strip, but they called Vogt, and that's his 5th.
I agree, Ed, there. And you're going to lose a player now for Lenape with the score tied at 41. And DiFrancesco going to go to the free throw line. 2 big free throws.
Oh, they're into it now. And they're tense.
Yeah, working on the nails.
We just saw Kevin Kelly right now is arguing, and Andrew Gentile was saying, hey, it was my foul.
I don't know if we can see it again, Ed, but on the replay, you could clearly see 1 of 3 players could have been called.
And I don't think Vogt was one that should have been called for the foul. And that's what he's discussing right now. You saw the best look at it on the replay. He did not create the strip. He was standing there, and the official from the far side made the call. We get a timeout. And again, I'm not sure if we'll get to look at it again, but you had the best look of it all. And now, see, we're not going to have a timeout.
That was just to get the players back on the floor. Here's some huge free throws.
This is big here with 1:20 to go. DiFrancesco to the free throw line. He has 4 points this half. 7 on the game. He is 3 for 4 from the line tonight. Misses his first free throw.
Almost looked like he didn't set on that shot.
Been a tremendous comeback by the Indians. Misses his second, and Hall's got the rebound. Lenape can take the lead with 1:15 to go in the fourth.
Interesting strategy here. Do you open the floor up and hold for the last shot? We'll see. They're running their offense.
Osorio. Unger. 1 minute to go in the fourth, tied at 41. Crowd on its feet behind the bleachers at Washington Township, and a timeout taken by Lenape. And at least from early indications, it looks like Lenape is holding for the final shot.
The pressure gets more and more as each pass goes on in this game. It just comes down to who can make the steal or who can make that big shot.
Well, there it is. You saw it a little late, but you saw where Vogt was standing. That's who the foul should have been called on, Osorio. If you're Lenape, you probably hold for the final shot, but Township surprised with a double team, so the Indians take a timeout. Good job by Washington Township that time defensively.
Gentile, good job there to get the timeout to avoid the turnovers. You mentioned also good job by Township to come in there and change things up.
Well, again, the bleacher bums, you see them in the background of that flipping cheerleader on their feet. Nice job.
How the heck do you do that?
I can't even make it about a quarter of the way around on the first try.
She's dizzy, too. She's coming back down to earth.
Well, a lot of people dizzy in this gym right now the way this game has turned out. This didn't look like a comfortable lead for Washington Township. Give the Indians credit. Chris Hall was carrying this team early on, but we looked later in this half during this run. Gentile's got a couple baskets. Osorio has two. Wigmore has two. And they finally had some other players step up, and that's a credit, I think, to Hall, the senior, kind of keeping his team in this game mentally.
It's going to be Crockett against Hall, Ed. That's going to be the key here.
45 seconds to go, tied at 41. Gentile will feed Unger. Let's see if they try to spread it to Hall. Meanwhile, Wigmore's got it. Township is in the penalty, so if there's a foul, Lenape will go to the free throw line. 30 seconds to go. Unger again. Now Hall's got it. Here we go. Watch by Crockett. 21 seconds. He'll bring it up. Passes it outside to Wigmore. 15 on the game clock. Unger beats his man, had an open path, instead tries to feed Hall out of bounds. Crockett's got it. 8 seconds to go. Minutemen rushing it up. DiFrancesco's got it. 4-3. Down the baseline. Holman gets it the ball, and the game is over. Washington Township wins it.
Again, Ed, the game-winning basket. Nice play inside. Contact at the buzzer. Township wins it behind Ed Hoban.
What a finish. Woo. The Minutemen faithful were probably hoping for overtime. And Washington Township did not take the timeout. DiFrancesco with a great run down the court and a great pass. Hoban, the big man running the floor, was open.
And great defense for Washington Township. Lenape had a chance to get the ball to Hall, but instead of going with the bounce pass, Ed, they went with the chest pass. There was a lot of confusion, a great save. DiFrancesco, a beautiful drive inside, and Hoban, Johnny on the spot, dodges the bullet for Township, and they win it.
A fantastic finish here at Washington Township. The final score, Washington Township 43, Lenape 41. We will take a break. We'll hear from the man who dished the winning pass, the man who made the winning shot, and the head coach.
Welcome back to Washington Township, where the smoke has cleared here. And at the buzzer, Washington Township wins it 43-41. Let's go to courtside now with some happy Washington Township Minutemen and Ed Bankin.
All right, Ted, thank you very much. Well, they're still catching their breath here a little bit at Washington Township. The Minutemen winning this one at the buzzer by a score of 43-41. We'll talk to Coach Steve Selby in just one moment. But first, the gentleman who made the winning shot and the winning pass, respectively, on the final bucket. We'll start here with Ed Hoban, the forward for Washington Township. Ed, obviously, you guys didn't want it to be as close as you have, but early on in this game, you were able to get things going inside. It got in a little foul trouble, but came back. You knew this Lenape team was going to come out with a lot of patience. So was it a case where you felt you get a lot of chances inside?
No, not really. I mean, really, once again, our defense helped us out in this win. We just got to execute on offense better than we've been doing, but no, the luck went our way.
Well, it was more than just luck. It was a tremendous finish. We're going to see if we can take a look at this final shot right here, and we'll talk to Dave DiFrancesco about it in just a second. But, Ed, one thing I noticed on that play, you guys didn't take a timeout. You came right down the court, and it seemed like you were open underneath. Let's watch what happens again. Describe the play.
Well, I gave him all the credit. He just put it right where I needed. All I had to do was lay it in.
We see DiFrancesco bring it up. Now, you're running the floor right now. Anyone pick you up at this point?
No, I was wide open.
There you go. Get a chance to see it once again in a frantic finish. It's pretty good leaping ability right there Ed, on the follow-up. But it looked like there was a double team, a triple team right there on Dave. Is that why you were open underneath?
Yeah, that left me wide open. I mean, they collapsed on him when he penetrated, and I was wide open right on the box. So.
You know, it's still so early in the season, but you're 6-3 right now. You know you had a very tough stretch coming up, some very difficult games, Eastern, Bishop, Eustis, Cherry Hill East. It's something in the back of your mind, you realize that, hey, the cutoff is still 3 weeks away, but every win's going to count as far as making the cut and getting a decent seed?
Yeah, I feel we have an even chance of beating any team that's on our schedule right now. So we come out and play like we've been playing lately. I think we got a good shot.
Hey, congratulations. I'm going to ask you to switch places right here. Let's bring in Dave DiFrancesco. He was doing all that running around on that last shot. Did Coach Selby and the staff tell you during the timeout when you came back on the floor when Lenape had the ball, hey, if you get the rebound, just push it up, don't call timeout?
Yeah, we had a play set up as if we got the rebound, we had the double pick on each elbow, and I'd run off and penetrate, and whoever was open, just kick it or else drive myself and either shoot it. So it ended up we just getting a steal, and we ran it down, and I got double teamed. I just kicked it to Eddie. He was right there, finished.
You know, you guys, you played some last year. You're around the atmosphere that we've seen with this team last year. You go all the way to the semifinals. How much does that rub off on the team in a situation like this to be tied, to keep your composure and pull the game out?
Oh, man, I don't know. It was hard. It was close all game. Then we started to lose it at the end. I was just scared. I should have made those 2 foul shots. But luckily, I made up for it on the pass. But I should have made those foul shots, so I got to improve on that.
You know, we take a look at how things will go on for this team. Of course, Jamie Huckle out for the season, or at least for most of the season. You, of course, have been picking up a lot of the point guard duties. Has he helped, and how much has the coaching staff made it easier for you to step in and run the point?
Yeah, Jamie's helped me a little bit. He's been when I've been down and making mistakes, he gives me a couple hints. He gives me confidence. He just tells me to go out there and play like he knows I can play. So he gives me a lot of confidence. And coaches, they give me the right attitude to play hard. But sometimes I just I don't know. I go out there and I don't play my hardest, but I gotta keep it up. I gotta play harder defense and make better decision on the offensive end. But I'll get there by the end of the season.
Seen a lot of exciting victories with this program on all different levels, but mainly because you were largely responsible. This is thrilling as it gets for you in your career?
Yeah, this was great. I mean, we had a couple good wins in the 8th grade travels team, but this was good. It was a good win for us. I think we needed this big time.
All right, gentlemen, go celebrate. Thank you very much. We're going to turn to head coach Steve Selby here, who's exhaling right about now, breathing a sigh of relief. Coach, I know not the way you wanted the finish to go, but I think you had to be thrilled with the fact that, hey, your team kept their composure at the end and they executed the way you set it up on the final play.
Well, I won't take credit for that final play. Actually, we did have something set up at the time, didn't allow it to go. So David made a very nice play penetrating to the basket, and, he found Eddie, and Eddie finished. We've played very hard in every one of our games, and I have to give a lot of credit to the kids because they do play very hard. If we begin to execute on offense consistently, I think we'll be very, very solid against anybody we play. We had a nice lead against Lenape, and we let them back in it, mainly because, not necessarily the defensive end of the floor, but execution on offense. So, we're going to have to just keep working at it. It's a long season, and, hopefully we can turn that end of play around.
We talked a bit before the game how you've had a lot of guys in and out of the lineup because they've been sick, whether it be the flu or some other kind of illness. How much has that affected the players' minutes and their endurance? Have they been able to still play the same minutes as they have last year?
Well, we've had to play other kids that didn't see much time last year, but, I have faith in their abilities, otherwise they wouldn't get on the floor. Yes, we've had some kids sick or hurt or whatever, but, we can't really rely on that because we're going to play the games anyway, so, we have to step up. Whoever goes on the floor has got to make contributions.
Well, certainly there are a lot of contributions tonight, and Dave DiFrancesco certainly makes a big situation where he keeps his cool, makes the big play. That's tough shoes to fill, to step in for Jamie Huckle. Talk about how he has stepped in and been able to run the point.
Well, David's done a good job for us. There's some more things I'd like to see him do that I know he can do. Now it's just a matter of him going out and working at it. No one can replace Jamie Huckle. Jamie Huckle is probably, along with someone like Dave Crockett and some players I've had in the past, the most competitive players I've ever had. And if we get Jamie back, it'll be a plus, it'll be a positive. I, as a coach, I can't wait for that to happen, but we're not going to rush him. We're going to take our time. And in David's case, he's going to have to do the job. And there have been times where he has been excellent. And then there's been times where he hasn't taken advantage of his skills. And that's something that, he's just going to have to continually work at.
Well, finally, you've got a very tough stretch coming up. Eastern, Bishop Eustace, and Cherry Hill East. But these guys, and we're not just talking about how well these kids played last year. We're talking about this group this year. They've gone up, played tough at Shawnee. They've gone up, played tough at Camden Catholic. Is it more of a case where they're really looking forward to the challenge against playing against some of the best in South Jersey?
Well, I hope so. I hope so, because we're not hiding from anybody. I'll take my kids against anybody. I mean, they'll play hard, and I'm not downgrading anybody else's program. I can only speak for my kids, and I know my kids will play hard.
Coach, congratulations on a thrilling victory.
Thank you very much.
Steve Selby, the head coach of the Minutemen. Washington Township wins by a bucket at the buzzer. Let's go back to the desk and have Tad wrap it up. Tad?
Thank you very much, Ed. A reminder for everybody watching tonight on Channel 13 in the Township area, or Channel 2. Coming up this week on the Tri-State Media Network, Wednesday night, we are going to be live at Rowan College.